Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. This is another episode of How to App on iOS, and my name is Jade. And it's Guitar Week. It's almost the end. Is it Hump Day? Who knows? Hope you're all doing well. Okay, so here we are. Guitar Week. So what have we done? We've looked at Tone Bridge this week. Yesterday we looked at Bias FX Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. And today, oh man, I just looked over and saw Daryl there. And my heart just went up into my throat. Was like, really? No, come on. It's not distorted. I can make it distorted. Thanks for scaring the absolute crap out of me there, Daryl. Thank you very much. G'day, Pete. For those of you who've just come over from Pete's show, I see Tom's here, Stu as well. What a cool show. I was interested to hear what Pete had to say in his show, if you just caught his show, which was about the iPad Pro. Look, before I get into that, I'm going to have a few words too. Look, I've had the iPad Pro 2018 since last year. I absolutely love it. I have an iPad Mini 3. I also have an iPad 2017. I have an iPhone 6S and an iPhone new SE. And I'm pretty sure I've got a 2016 iPad sitting in a box somewhere, which I haven't used for quite a while. But the iPad Pro is my absolute go-to. It's an absolute beast. I'm thinking next week I'm actually going to show my setup here, which is crazy mental stuff. I've got 2 audio interfaces. I've got a mixing desk. I have a number of powered USB hubs and other hubs. And I think I mentioned over in the chat in Pete's stream, currently connected to my iPad Pro, I have a 10-port adapter, which has HDMI, VGA, Internet, Ethernet, 3 USB, 3 connections, an SD card plugged into it. It's got everything all hooked up into the one thing, and it's an absolute gun. But look, the iPad Pro is killer, and if you really, and I agree with Pete 100% with what he says. Do you need it? Nah, you don't need it. Do you want it? Of course you do. And, I'm not going to shit in your pocket right now, but my iPad Pro with the pencil cost me $2,500. The case with the keyboard, Magic Keyboard, is $500. So there's $3,000 dumped on this thing. But I mean, it sounds like a lot of money, but when you compare that to going into a really high quality recording studio with an amazing engineer who has a reputation, you're looking at up to $2,000 a song if you're really seriously going to produce something. And even then, it's no guarantee that that song's actually going to do anything, really. It all comes down to if the song's shit or not. No matter how much money you throw at an engineer or a recording studio, if the song sucks balls, guess what? It's going to be sucking balls alone on Spotify forever. That's just the way it is. So no amount of money will ever change the quality, really, ultimately, unless you're writing good stuff. And if you have good stuff around you to create with, it does help. I won't lie. If it's easy to pick up and record in a studio, it doesn't need to be the most expensive, but if it's decent and it works and it's around you, it's always going to work out good. So I'll stop crapping on now. What are we looking at today? We are looking at GE Labs. Now, again, I'm not going to bullshit you around. So yesterday we looked at Bias FX 2, and I told you that to unlock the whole lot with the Australian dollar being as crap as it is at the moment, it cost me $109. It's a lot of money to lay down. It hurt. It actually hurt more than buying the Apple keyboard for $500 because I had nothing. I don't own anything physical in my hands buying an amp sim. Where at least the keyboard, I can touch it every day and manipulate it, and it changes my workflow. Sure, the effects are great and everything, but $109. So why am I telling you that? Because GE Labs is free to download, but it has its issues for me, and I'm going to go into that today, why it's been an issue to me. Now, in all honesty, I reached out to the developer, and and this ain't shitting on the developer at all, so please don't take this as that. Developers, when they put out apps, they will allot so many amounts of codes to give away and all that kind of thing. And I did see these guys went really hard giving away like full unlocks to people to review when this app came out. And they had exhausted, and clearly they want to make money. They're a small company, besides someone like Positive Grid. So they were unable to give me a code to unlock it. But let's be honest, you're going to see, so to unlock this app, it works out to be, so it's $49.95, but that's USD. So that works out to be about $100 again for me. So I can't justify that right now with the current times. If I'm more or less using bias effects and tone bridge for everything, just for the sake of this demo, I'm not going to outlay $100. But you can still use it without outlaying anything. So we're going to get into that. So let's have a look at it. Let's open. So how we're going to do this today is I'm going to grab my guitar. I'm going to do it through GarageBand. So we'll open up GarageBand as usual. And I've had this screen open for the last few days. This is like just some drums that I've programmed for one of my songs, just to quickly show you that. Cool. So there's just some drums there. Now, I've already got a track open here. And what I'm going to do, last video, I showed you how to add a track using the audio, the IAA section. But now I'm going to show you how to do it from the voice, from the actual microphone, from a new microphone channel. So as you can see here, I've got a clean mic ready to go. Now, if you click on this little mic option up here, excuse me, up here in the left, you'll get this screen here. Now I'm using channel 1 for my guitar, so I'm going to select that now. And up here you've got inter-app audio. So I'm going to click on that. Now this is an effect, remember? So I'm going to click on effect. And there it is up the top, GE Labs. So I'm going to add that now. And as you can see, it's sitting up here in this little section next to the microphone input there. So you know you're plugged into it. Now, usually if you're using an iPad or any latest models, you have to swipe up to get your app switcher. But if you're using a keyboard, Command and Tab brings up this for you. So you can flick through, you just keep tabbing until you get to the one you want to go to. Just to show you, I'm going to go back to my desk, back to the home screen. Command Tab, back to GarageBand. Now, I'm actually going to click on this little icon of GE Labs, and there's the amp sim. So what I just showed you there, Command Tab, that'll get you back to GarageBand. No having to touch the screen, swipe up or anything like that. Makes it nice and clean. You got to love shortcuts on iOS. So just let me grab my guitar. Cool, it's already... Now how cool is that? My guitar was turned up. So the knob was turned up. It was just sitting there. And there was no feedback. And it's already set to distortion. So I'm pretty impressed by that. That's pretty cool. We'll get some volume here. Cool, we got some chug straight away. So let's have a look at what this is all about. And it looks like the reason we've got some chug there is because I was playing with it last night, and the last thing I had up, as you can see up the top here, is Metalcore. So, as if you watched my little 20-minute thing on bias effects yesterday, you will, when you see this, kind of, it looks pretty similar. All these guitar amp sims all look pretty similar these days. You know, you've got your big fancy picture of what it looks like, what the actual piece of the kit is that you're looking at to play with. And then you've got your little section and the chain of amps and pedals down the bottom in this one. Let's go across the bottom here before we do anything else. So this gives you a different view, and what it does is it gives you, we'll scroll up a page. To the left, you've got your page up and down. Let's go down some. Where are we? Oh, it's because I'm in. Let's do this. I'm in my user bank. Cool. So let's pick, what have we got in here? Let's pick something. Let's just pick, there's probably a degent sound. Sweet. So down the bottom left-hand corner, back where we were, you'll see you've got your page up and down, and the bottom row will be 5 sims, 5 setups. And the top row is a bunch of pedals that you can just click at ease to remove from the chain, or you can do it from down the bottom here, just by, how do you, let's see. There you go. So you just hold on each amp, each effect, and it'll bring up a wiggle screen, and then you can remove it from there. Or you can see there's a big plus symbol there as well, so you can add whenever you want. Let's have a listen to this sound that I've just chose. Let's see if it really is a degent sound, because I'm pretty picky with degent sounds. Really? It seems like there's a pedal missing there for sure. Let's throw something in. Let's throw a... What have we got? Let's throw in a metal zone. Cool. Let's get out of, let's turn that pedal off. As you can hear, that pedal created quite a bit of noise. So let's go back to this screen here. As you can see, you can page up and down and run through all of those setups and removing things. Like let's what have we got here? Let's choose a lead. So we've got a lead here. Cool. And just as an example, I'm going to show you what effects have we got. So we've got a hall, as you can see down the bottom there in the bottom right hand corner. I'm sure if I click the reverb, you can see that that disappeared and came back. So this is a pretty cool, handy screen. I like the screen there. You've got a metronome next to that. Always handy. You have a tuner. Now, I'll tell you what, this tuner, I tried it out last night. It's really good. Compared to the bias one, it's really like spot on close. Like that needle moves very fractional, and I was really impressed. A lot of the tuners I found, I'll be honest, in bias, I think the tuner's pretty crap. So there's your tuner. And look, now the price, let's have a look. So here are the prices, and how the price model works for this particular app is you don't unlock the pedals, cabs, or anything like that. That's all available to you for free. What it unlocks is the ability to save preset slots. So for $2.99, so double that. So what's that? $6? You'll get 1 slot. $9.99 4 slots. $24.99 10 slots, and the ultimate pack. See, this is where it just hurts for me personally. $49.99 works out to be 100 Australian dollars for unlimited slots. That's a lot of money for me. It just is what it is. So, and definitely I would suggest, if you are going to unlock something like this, 4 slots are going to be plenty. And as I'm going to show you here, if you're just using, if you're not really saving a lot of things on it, you don't even need to unlock anything. If you're just using this just to grab a sound to use it in a recording and then not using it again, hey, cool. You can do that. That's pretty easy. So next to that section there, the price, you'll see down the bottom here, you have a little cloud option. And like most apps these days, it looks like they have like a tone cloud like Bias FX, so people can upload, and you can upload your own tones for people to download, you to share, so it's all cool. You've got a whole bunch of samples there that you can try out, and what it does is it saves these samples into a little sample folder, so that's pretty cool as well. But I'm going to head over to presets and go straight to high gain, of course. Now I'll show you what I mean. So now that we're in, we will go back here, and I will show you in my user section. I have saved this Metalcore sound. Okay, so that one's saved. I got that last night. I downloaded it. Here's the drawback when you're not paying for it. If you go into this cloud section, presets, high gain. Okay, I want to find a sound from here. Let's just grab this 550 sound. So you click on it. It's pretty basic. Shows you the setup up the top. I mean, that's the one good thing about this. It's a really no frills looking app. Everything's really basic, clear, and easy to navigate. Buttons are big, so it's definitely a positive. So all I'm going to do is just download this tone. Gives me an option where to save it, so I'm going to save it to my user section. But what you will see is this will overwrite your current save slot, because they give you one to play with for free. But that's pretty cool. So even getting one for free, you get to try out all this stuff. So I recommend definitely going and downloading it now, playing around with it, because there's a shit ton of good stuff here to play with. So I'm just going to take a break for a second, because it is that time. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of an artist called King Diamond. He's this metal singer who wears the corpse paint makeup, and it's very metal music, but the guy sings in an absolute crazy falsetto high pitch voice, and he has this amazing song called It Is Time for Tea. And maybe I'm going to add that to my show every time I do my Time for Tea. You know, it's going to creep me out one day that every time I do this ASMR slurping of tea every morning, there's some dude out there masturbating to it. We live in a strange world. If you can think it, somebody's doing it. Anyway, I'm getting off track as usual. Holy crap. Why does my brain think stupid shit like that? So let's have a look at some of the things you get, pedals and all of this stuff. So you get a bunch of compressors. So you've got 4 compressors there. You've got a wah pedal. Oh, you've got a few wah pedals and a couple of auto wahs. I wonder what this touch wah does. Let's have a look, shall we? I'm intrigued. So, sensitivity. Cool. That's pretty sexy. I'm enjoying that. Let's get rid of it. Bye-bye. So, where were we? Wahs. So you have a lot of wahs. That's pretty generous. A lot of these amp sims, they don't really have a lot of wires. There's normally one or two. That's actually really, really generous. And I like this too. So you've got two different types here, this torque wire R and O. R and O. I wonder if you combine both of them. Why not? Let's add both of them and see what happens. Do they conflict with each other? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's pretty cool. So, look, definitely, I haven't even spent a cent on this and haven't really dived into it too much. Now, there is a crap load of modulation stuff. I noticed this last night. There's a shitload of stuff there. And octave is always a good thing to have. So that's nice as well. You've got plenty of drive pedals there. Of course, you've got a bunch of muff stuff there. Preamps, plenty of preamps. Look at all this stuff. Holy shit. And for free, just to play around with it, that's absolutely really cool just to do that. I'm just seeing here, so Ave Music Studio has said, I have no patience to try and mess with all this. So presets for me. But that is the thing too. Like, I'll admit it, I normally always look for a preset to start with, and then, you know, it's pretty hard to find a preset that's absolutely perfect from the get-go. So the beauty of having all this stuff is that if you can get something that's even close with a preset, then you can go in here and tool around and really build on top of it and get that perfect sound. And that's what you ultimately want. So as you can see, we've got heaps of cabinets. You've got your oranges, your Marshall clones, all of that typical stuff. 3 noise gates. I like this one called a noise killer. But from my usage over the last few days, this middle one, this middle noise gate is the best out of all of them. You've got a few equalizers, delays, and reverbs. Not as many reverbs as I love this one though. This actual pedal though looks really cool. Look at that. That's a sick looking pedal. I would buy that pedal if that was actually a real pedal. Cool. All right, so what else have we got here? Let's get rid of that. And I will go back to, before we wrap all of this up, back to this cloud. So you have an absolute crap ton of clean tones as well. And it looks like there's a lot of users adding stuff. So, I mean, clean jazzy amps, John Mayer tones. I haven't like searched for individual artists like I have in Bias Effects, where you just like search Ben Folds or, you know, a particular artist. You're normally going to find things like that. Let's just try it with something like high gain, doing a search. I like this too, how you get to choose between samples and presets to do a search. Let's have a look just for, because someone's gonna, I won't do Metallica, that's too basic. Search presets. So one Slayer sound. Let's download it and see what it's like, hey? We want user, and again it's going to replace it. Ooh. I'm not liking that. So wow. As you can tell, things can be hit or miss, but let's try and clean this up as quick as we can with a noise gate. Hey, look, there we go, it's fixed. definitely not something that I would use. And look, it's the pitch shifter that's definitely the problem for me with this one. I'm sure if we got rid of that, it would probably sound a whole lot better. Anyway, that is this app. Now, what I'm quickly going to do before anything else, so go and download it. It's free. Give it a whirl. Check it out. It works for iPhone and iPad, so it's universal. Hey, if it floats your boat, it floats your boat. There is no right, there is no wrong, there is no best, there is none of that. Whatever works for you is always the way to go. So what I'm quickly going to do, because I want to give an honorable mention, and oops, let's go back to GarageBand. And what I'm going to do here is click on, I'm going to change my inter-app audio here, and I'm going to select a different app just as an honorable mention. Where are you? For Stomp, because I'm not going to have time to fit all these things in this week, but this is very similar to the last app. Now, the reason I didn't cover it is, again, I didn't want to outlay the money for it right now because I actually don't have it, but it's free to download this. Unfortunately, you only get a couple of SIMs, and as you can see here, I'm not sure if you can pick this up, but it's actually works on iPad and iPhone, but it's an iPhone. It hasn't been built for iPad. So that's the one reason I didn't go into this. That's one reason. The other reason was I didn't really want to unlock it at this stage. Mainly because I don't want to waste the money on something that's not iPad compatible, because I do all my music mostly through my iPad. But this thing actually looks really good. So, again, the difference is, I'll just go into, this is more of a cab and amp simulator. So it's all about the cabs. Where are we? So you can see here, you've got Marshall clones, a whole lot of cool clones in there. You've got your amp heads here that are a lot of clones. So there's quite a few cool things in here. But the pedals are a bit dry. That's pretty much all you've got there. An affinity boost, green 9 enhancer. Doesn't really look like a lot of depth, but I've had other people tell me that this has suited them really well. When it comes to price, let's have a quick look at this. So it's at $29.99 to unlock all of the cabs and amps in this. So that's about $50 Australian. Or you can do individual ones as well. You can unlock them at $1 each kind of thing, which is pretty cool if there's a specific sound you want to go for. So again, this one's free too. This is called Stomp. So go and download that. Have a play with these things. Find which one works for you. And whichever one works for you is always going to be the best one. So I'll just put my guitar down. So that's that for today. What are we going to do tomorrow? We're looking at a different app tomorrow. I'm going to break away from kind of the typical guitar sim apps, and we are going to be looking at, just so for a heads up, because you won't want to miss this. This is awesome. I've had this for a while, and it's called Rox Syn, and it's a guitar synthesizer. It'll turn your typical guitar into a synthesizer. You can sound like fucking Muse playing your guitar, the Muse synthesizer. With pads, you can add so much cool stuff. So I'm going to be going through a whole shitload of presets, and boy, are there presets on this thing. There are so many presets. You will just be blown away at how many presets there are. So tune in tomorrow for this, because it is going to be a fun ride, and some of the guitar sounds you can get out of this amazing app are just mind-blowing. I will let you know every end of the week we have an interview with somebody, a music creator. This week I'm going to have on the show Thomas Gallane, who is an absolute awesome musician from Belgium who has an amazing single out at the moment, which we're going to be talking about. So I implore you to come on and have a listen to us live, have a chat about his music and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, Tom, trust me, you're going to want to see this app. It is just, this Roxin app is killer, bee's knees, next level shit. I love it so much. I've used this app, Roxin, a shitload on my new album because it saves me, I'll tell you what, it just saves me having to grab my M-Audio keyboard and I can just pick up the guitar and play on guitar and it turns it into an amazing synthesizer. So that will do us for today. All the usual shit. Like and share, comment, subscribe. Tell people about it. This show, if you're getting any value. And again, I want to thank everybody for all the great comments about the show. But more importantly, I want to thank people like Stu, who I haven't responded to his message. Some of the comments I'm hearing that people have got just... for doing this a month, that these little stupid shows that I'm doing in the morning are helping people and change their workflows and giving them the confidence to do different techniques and drums. It's really heartwarming. It's absolutely brilliant. So thank you for all those nice comments. You can find me on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And the Patreon page is coming. If you don't know about what's coming with my Patreon page, check back to last Thursday's show and my Patreon will be kicking off very soon, where you'll be able to be involved in the whole process of wrapping up my new album. But that's it for today. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope to see you all tomorrow, first thing in the morning for Pete's show, and then following up with mine. As usual, stay safe, be good, stay gangster, make shitloads of music, and I will see you tomorrow. Adios, my musical amigos.
Bye-bye.